Hello, everyone, and welcome as we dive back into our Conquest of Hyperborea campaign. We have the full party tonight. So, my name is Trevor. I will be the GM storyteller guy tonight. And joining me, we have all four of our players, and I'm excited to finally get the whole party together. To start off, let's start with our continuing players, from the ones that we've already known. So, below me in the orange shirt, tell us who you're playing and your character.
Hi, I'm Danny. I play Alice Ovidius, a Roman legionnaire who has stepped into the world of Hyperborea. He is a warlock, an ice lord, as they call them.
He has the
So,
ice magic, the cryomancy. All right, and
yes.
then next to you on my screen, you know him as Slingshot in Discord. Introduce yourself and tell us who you're playing.
Hi, my name's Jeff, also known as Slingshot. I am playing Morrigan, a half-blood picked druid of Zanaqua. I am a native of Hyperborea, born and bred on the savage boreal coast. I consider myself to be a self-appointed warden of the area that I have. Looking to extend my influence out further than my little grove that I have.
And then joining us for the first time in this campaign, to my right, all the way from Austin, Texas. Introduce yourself.
Chris Bradley, brother of Trevor Bradley, and cowboy by day, cowboy gamer by night.
That's it. All right, so Chris is coming back. He did play in the Heroes of Hyperborea campaign last year. We had a lot of fun with that. And he jumped at the idea of playing some more Hyperborea, so he's back with us this time. So looking forward to that. We'll introduce his character in game. And then finally down at the bottom, playing Hyperborea for the first time, my old friend I've known since high school. Please introduce yourself.
Hello, my name is Wes Addison, and I'll be playing a mysterious character.
A mysterious character. Now, Wes played 2nd edition D&D with me in high school. He played 3rd edition, 5th edition, and I was like, hey, you gotta play Hyperborea. It's like the best old school D&D clone out there. So Wes was the cool guy that had no idea what the game was. He's like, sure, I'll play. So that's awesome. All right. So we'll introduce those two characters in just a minute. So what we're gonna do is we are picking up the story as we get going. Let me clear my screen. As we dive back into Hyperborea. So our story is going to be picking up in the savage boreal coast of Hyperborea. I'm pinging the map at this little town right here. So if you see the map, you see the town. This is a small half-blood picked village that we're going to be starting in tonight, and it is a village that sits at the very bottom of the foothills of the Barrier Mountains, and also in the Boreal Coast. So it is a coastal city. It's got the mountains. It's got the forest. And just for point of reference for the players and everyone, every hex on this map is about 26 miles. So when we're talking about like moving from point to point, just to kind of give you an idea of the size of the map, that's what we're talking about. So as we dive into our story tonight, we're going to begin in this half-picked town of Elpin Guest. So I've now moved the map over. And we are going to dive into the night's story. So what has happened in the last game? We saw our two characters. I'm going to bring the music down because it's a little loud. So what we saw last time is we saw the story so far is that a north wind picked up some Roman legionnaires from Britain and transported them to a strange land of Hyperborea. Danny's character, Alis Ovidius, is the story that the first character that we got introduced to. As he got transported from Britain, he met a Greek follower of Apollo named Telesphorus, and he met him and kind of learned about where he was. He was in a cave in the Barrier Mountains, made his way down. On his travel down to the forest to look for more of his companions, because there were 6 people in his party. He's looking for more of his Roman friends. He traveled down, ran into some skeletons that kind of terrified everyone. They ran from them and made it into the safety of the forest. And that is where our second game picked up, where Danny's character, Alis, met a druid of the forest, and that is Morrigan, played by Jeff. And they began to. Morrigan knew Tellus Forest. Those two characters had already known each other from before. And they began talking and trying to find out if there were more of these Romans about, trying to find more of his friends, and also what's going on with the undead that seem to be, in the area. They came across horse tracks because they were believed that one of the horses from their scouting party from Britain was actually traveled with them. They did find this horse, Magus, and Marcus. Sorry, Marcus was the name of the horse. Marcus was the name of the horse, and they followed Marcus, who was looking for his master, and they followed the horse and followed some tracks, and they came across what looked to be an abandoned camp that had been taken over by some strange cultists. Melee broke out as they found out that the cultists had captured two of the Romans that were part of Danny's party. They took out the cultists, found out they were the cultists of Yog. They were cannibalistic, and some type of curse had overtaken them. They looked pretty ferocious. And then as all of that was happening, again, they got waylaid by more of these walking skeletons. This time finding that they had what looked to be digging equipment. They were attacking with shovels and picks and clubs and things of that nature. But they fought them off, and now Danny's character, Aelius, was joined by Nonus and also Lucius, two other of the Roman centurions. So half of his party has been found. The issue is that Lucius was sick and needed aid, and we're picking up the story a couple days later as they have traveled from the mountains to the village of Elpingest that Morgan has brought them to seek food, shelter, aid, help to find Lucius to see if he can get better. He seems to be falling ill from some illness, possibly a disease or something, but they're trying to find help for him. But also, this is the closest village, and they're trying to see if any of the other Romans may have come down this way. So that is where we are picking up the story. So the story is going to pick up as these two individuals. Actually, I take it back. There's 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 6 of you in this party because we have Telesphorus, the Greek priest. We have the 2 Romans. Those are NPCs. That's 3, and then so there's 5. And then we have Danny's character, Aelus, and then we have the druid, Morgan. And the 6th person would be the horse.
Yeah.
The horse.
Mark, my man.
Yeah. So those are the people. And for the sake of conversation, what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring all of these tokens on the screen so that we can kind of follow. So we have Nonus. We have Nonus's horse, Marcus. We have Lucius. We have Telesphorus. So these are the NPCs. And then finally we have Morgan, as Jeff's character, and Aelus Ovidia. So this is kind of the party right now as they're coming into town. That's not your position on the map. I'm just getting on there so we can kind of see names and people and things of that nature. All right, so this party is you're moving into town. We're going to take this from the perspective of Danny's character. This is the first time you've been to this type of place. And what you're seeing is a village that looks very similar to the villages that you saw up in the northern part of Britain. The make of the villages looks very similar. And you notice that these are built by Picts. Now, one thing is that your battalion was not, they were kind of seen as enemies. You were trying to quell them or help them the Roman way, but you're walking into what would have been maybe a hostile camp back in Britain. So all 3 of the Romans are a little nervous and on guard as you're walking into this. What you're seeing is a bunch of half-blood Picts, and what these are basically you know what, I'm going to go ahead, as you're walking in, you're going to go ahead and meet like the front guard of the gate. I'm going to go ahead and pull him up because it's a good image to kind of showcase what these guys look like. So this is going to be Bodicius, and this will be the first character that we meet. There, if y'all see that image? Okay, so this is Bodicius. So basically these are basically going to be like ancient Scots. You know, they have They have the wild hair and beards, and they have the body makeup. Some of the people you see walking about town have like the full body paint, where it's either all black or all white. You see the blue markings on them, very tribalistic. You see people have like feathers and different, basically animal pelts and things. Woodsmen, wild men, maybe you might even call them. And these are the people that are kind of running this town. Now, interestingly, as you came in outside of town, you did see that there were some buildings on the outside of town near the water. Those buildings look like they're built differently and possibly newer than the village. That is something that you do notice. You do see some red and white. Looks like they took like some sails and turned them into like a canvas, like tents for like a market area outside. But it does look, if everything here looking dull and drab, that looks out of place. Possibly stolen or confiscated in some way, but it does definitely looks scavenged. But is the only thing of real color that you see as you're walking into the village. You do see several. There's dozens of these people walking around, very hunter-gatherer type of society as you're walking into town, and that is where we pick up the story. So with that, your party is walking in. You see Bodicius. He greets you, goes, "Oh, hail, Morrigan." He knows you, Morgan. You've spent some time here. You do know that they also revere your god as well, the moon god. So that is a common link that you have with the people here. Also, you are the same lineage as them as well, so they see you as an ally. So as you see, so Bodicius, he calls out and hails you. He goes, "Oh, Morrigan, hey, who are these strangers you bring with you?"
Hail, Bodicius. They are with me. They are friendly.
Are you sure?
They are stragglers I have picked up along the way.
He looks over and goes, "That one, he looks a little worse for wear."
Yes, if we could bring him to the healer's tent, it would be greatly appreciated. We have found some refugees from where I don't know exactly, but these are them.
Looks over and goes, "Well, some of them look like good strapping men we could use. But that sick one, you better see Jurgen. Jurgen. You need to see Jurgen. You know this name. She's a shaman, a healer type. And you know that she is normally down here. There's kind of a central longhouse that is like the central meeting point of the town. And that's kind of where the gathering is. So as you walk through town, what you do see they do have some very basic blacksmith and smelting, lots of leatherworking, trappings. It's busy, but you also see that they seem to be building up fortifications, repairing the wall, things of that nature. These are just things that you kind of notice as you're walking through town. There does seem to be a sense of urgency about the town. So this is what you notice as you're coming in town. Danny, I'm going to jump to Danny. Danny, do you have anything you want to add as you're kind of walking in this town for the first time?
You said there is a sense of urgency or not?
There is. There is.
As we're walking to the medical tent, is Bodicius with us?
Yes. He's walking with you.
Ask him if lots of hustle and well, does he even speak my language?
You do recognize it is everyone here speaks this common tongue. It is the tongue that you've learned in Britain. It is not your native tongue, but it is something that you pick up. It would be like us trying to understand people. I'm Southern, so you go to Ireland or Scotland, you can understand them. It's just a different dialect.
Friend Bodicius, why all the hustle and bustle?
Do you not know we are nearing end of season?
Harvest?
Nightfall. And he looks over at Morgan. He goes, "Where are your friends from if they do not know the seasons?"
They are from the
seasons.
They have been sent here by. He looks a little uncomfortable, and he goes, "Hold on a moment." and he reaches into his pouch and he pulls out he's got a pouch of like salt, and then he has another bag of cooking spices. Add this to the communal cook. I'm sure they will appreciate it. I just kind of leave it at that.
Okay, he goes, "Oh, thank you for your gift. You'll find Krotos. You should speak with him. You know Krotos is the chieftain. They call him king. He's the king of the village.
As to where and why they don't know, it seems that they were waylaid by bandits and whacked upon the head. It happens. I'm not much of a medicine man, but hopefully things will be fine.
Take him to Jurgen. Maybe she can ail their nonsensical ways." And with that, he kind of leaves you to, as you are traveling in, you see other travelers, other people here that are not. You notice a couple of strange individuals that are not Picts. As you go inside, the longhouse opens up. You see these two individuals walking in as well. You recognize one as an Eskimo, which you are very nervous about because you know about that strange, crazy cult that lives in that village I believe it's to the north. So you're a little nervous about that. And you also see another individual, a Greek, much like Telesphorus. And if he's anything like Telesphorus, you probably don't trust him either. Other than that, the room is filled with Picts. You do see Krotos. He comes up and greets you. I'm going to pull him up. Very old individual, the chief of the town. His, beard is like matted and like almost like in like these like braids of like dreads. He goes, "Morgan, you're welcome. Come."
I'll approach, and as I get up to where he's sitting or whatever, I'll give a bow.
Who are these?
Great Krotos.
Who are these strange folks? Lots of strange folk in town today.
Great Krotos, I bring with you Alias, a great warrior from the other side of the ocean.
I do not know these people. And he goes,
Um,
Hold 1 minute. These people, these foreigners you brought us. I need 1 moment." And he calls over. He goes, Magos, is that your name? As he's pointing over to the other Greek individual in the longhouse.
It is.
Come, you were telling me earlier you were looking for someone, a rival of yours.
Yes. Vorazon.
Vorazon. Are any of these your Vorazon? As you look over, you see three very clean-cut warrior-type people traveling with another Pict that looks like he's never bathed or been in town. As you're looking over as this strange, and you see a fellow Greek, someone that you notice a familiar look, but none of them match the nefarious person that you were looking for. You do have a parchment that you had sketched of Varazan, as you can pull it out to remind him of who you're looking for and how these people can't possibly be who you're looking for. So I will pull this up now as a handout.
Great King Kronos, thank you for thinking once again of me and of my coin, which I gladly give you in help for this search. But none of these are the man that I'm looking for. Here, let me remind you, I'm not best with pen and ink.
Do you see the image that I pulled up?
Yeah.
Okay.
This be the man that I am looking for. And he has an energy, a presence of mistrust and, dare I say, evil. You will know him when you see him. And here is more coin, and my thanks for your remembrance.
Thank you. I appreciate it. We'll keep on look, but I believe, to the mountains you should search.
Interesting. Um, Sirs, may I ask from whence you come? It looks as if you have one of my kinsmen, a Grecian, traveling with yourselves.
As you do that,
Little
the Grecian responds, tell its forces, oh yes, Magos, the Grecian that you're is very old. He may be even older than you, but it's hard to tell because it could be the years or the mileage. But Telesphorus is a very old individual. We show him as well. Again, carrying like the fur trappings and everything, not as savage as looking as the Picts, but he does have like the winter cloak and everything. He does carry a longbow and some arrows on his back, but he's not wearing any type of armor or anything of that nature. It looks more like a woodsman, but he does seem educated. With as he does reach out to Magos and to shake your hand, he goes, "Oh, a fellow Greek, it's good to see you. I don't know your dealings, but our people, the world they came from, they've often dealt with these Romans. Magos, you were born and raised in Cromarium, but you have heard of the legends of Rome."
Yes. Yes, my dealings have not been with Rome, although I've heard of its greatness. We are known more for our brains than we are for our brawn. Um, and I've used such to stay clear of Rome and its citizens. You are welcome at my table, as are your friends, should you need a meal for this evening.
A meal would be greatly appreciated.
Come. Let me introduce you to my good friend and huntsman, Quinn. Quinn, let's make some room for these our guests and fellow Grecian.
I nudge the dog over and make room.
A very healthy and happy looking little husky is sitting next to the Eskimo, eating the scraps from the table. Seems quite happy to be at the table. Not many animals are allowed in here, but he seems to have a prominent position at the table. As you guys are beginning to get together and gather, and they bring out some food and drink and ale as you all gather. It seems that the tab has been paid for. Mago seems to be throwing some coin around as he's come in. The Romans are very much appreciative. You hear Nonus, who seems to be the head of the Romans, going over and talking to Crotos separately and inquiring. You can see he's pointing to his other friend Lucius, who is kind of hobbled over and is like in like a full flop sweat. Definitely looks peakish as he's at the table. A lot of the other picks are kind of like getting up and moving away from him as he's just kind of like hobbled over. With that, Danny, what would your character like to do at this point?
I definitely want to help Lucius out. Definitely.
What
But
seems to be the
if
problem with
Nonus
your
is-
friend? Does he need to see a healer?
Yes, I was also wounded in battle, but he seemed to be sick before that.
Hmm.
Not sure what's wrong with him, whether it's just battle wounds or something else.
Can I take a look at the guy?
Yes, you can. You look him over, and you have spent enough time in the wild, and you've seen people who have attempted to be out in the wild and were not covered correctly. He definitely has a fever. He doesn't look to be diseased by your estimation, but definitely looks.
Can I look at his fingers?
You look at his fingers. He doesn't seem to have any type of frostbite. If that's what you're looking for. You're also familiar with poisons and things of that nature. He doesn't seem to be poisoned. Disease is possible. That is beyond your realm of purview.
What time is it right now?
It is night. Remember, we're at the point of Hyperborea, and for the new player at the table, I will explain. There is a 13-year cycle, and in that 13-year cycle, as this plane of mass is like spinning around Saturn, which always hangs high. We have two moons, Phobos and Serene. But what we do see is that depending on the year, you have more daylight or less. We are in the 11th year of the cycle, which is the mammoth. And during this time, daylight is beginning to wane, and we only get about 5 hours of daylight until in year 13, which is about a year or so away, year and a half away. It's called nightfall, where there will not be any daylight for a full year. And so that is why there is a sense of urgency in town as they are preparing for the close of what here they called the season.
I'm going to, while they're bringing them to the healer and stuff, I'm going to go outside to do some prayers to Lanaqua.
Okay.
The moon is in its first quarter. The Phobos is in its first quarter.
Yes.
I will be outside if you need me.
As you go out, it is darkened. The town has several torches and bonfires lit. Is drinking and merriment and different types of chicanery between the men and the women are happening in town to keep warm, of course. But it is as you look up, you are always wary when Phobos, the smaller of the moons, is raised. It gives off a reddish hue in the night, and you know it to be a bad omen.
I will still, go around the fire, doing some prayers and such around it. I'm just kind of dancing with the other folk.
As you do, you hear a lot of people talking. You do overhear some people talking about strange lights and sounds coming from the mountains. One individual says that you do overhear him talking about some strange lights emanating from the mountains at night. This individual. He tends to the cattle. It is outside the city a good bit, or the town a good bit. But you do pick up that town gossip. We'll pause for you as you're out doing that. As Morgan is out doing that, is there any? Let's go to Magos.
So I look over towards my friend, my new friend at the table, and what's your name, I ask?
I am Alice Ovidius, Roman legionnaire.
Alice. What brings you into town? I can tell you that I hired my now good friend and huntsman Quinn on a quest to lead me into this mountain town to look for my rival, Varazon, a necromancer. He stole some things that were important to me, some sources of energy that I use for my lifestyle. What brings you into town?
Before last week, I would have said that you were out of your mind, but I have seen strange dealings here. I'm not from this land. I appear to not be from this time. I'm not really sure where here is. We were swept here. My friend Lucius is ill. He's grave. He is, you can tell. We need a healer. He is hotter than Vulcan's taint. And we seek succor for him, firstly.
Interesting. Quinn, have you heard of stories of this, of ships coming in from other places, other time?
You have, yeah. Well, what are you asking? Because these people didn't come by boat.
A mist swallowed us in our land, and we awoke here.
You were on a ship, or how did you move into this place?
We were in the mists of Britannia. They swallowed us, and we awoke here.
Have we ever heard of that town?
No.
Mists of Britannia. Never heard of it, but is this a well-known place from where you're from?
It's at the ass end of civilization, but still Rome.
Interesting. Well, And who is it now that you seek?
I seek more of my brothers. There were 6 of us. We 3 have been found. Telesphorus has graciously taken me under his wing. Isn't that right, little grandfather?
Yes, yes. I believe all 3 of them came from a wind that I had been tracking in the mountain. I wonder if the other 3 are lost on that mountain as well.
Well, it seems as our paths seem to be going in the same direction. That's what I've paid Quinn to lead me into that mountain as soon as tomorrow morning.
I would tell Danny's character that your friend should not come in his condition.
Oh, I am in full agreement. He
With
definitely
that,
needs rest.
with that, you are now introduced. Crotus brings over the town Gila. That'll be Uruguin. We'll show this character now to everyone. This is Uruguin. She comes over. She has her garb is different. It's more dramatic with the feathers and softer wools and skins and things. As she comes over, looking over Lucia, she goes, "Yes, yes, I've seen this. Winter's bite is what we call it. He needs to be warm by a fire. I will gather herbs to speed his recovery." And she looks over him, and she seems to be looking in his eyes and ears. And she looks about him and goes, "He doesn't have the signs. He doesn't have the signs."
The signs of what, may I ask?
He goes, "There is a disease that goes about. Yellow, orange, between the nose and ears, in different places. Once we see those signs, it is too late."
I would ask Uruguin what herbs that she needs, seeking to be very helpful to this young woman, who is also my age.
She looks over at you and goes, "Silver leaf. We need silver leaf. I will ground it with..." And she looks over and goes, she's going through, goes, she has some different berries and things. She goes, "I have what I need, but silver leaf is what I need."
It's something I can
And
forage
you're
for.
very familiar with that. Yeah, it's a common plant.
I would hop up with the dog and say, "I'll be right back."
Thank you. And with that, she goes to grab some of her things, her different ointments and essential oils and different things that she'll need to heal this poor man. But she does take him over and sit him down by the fire and take his red Roman cloak and kind of wrap him around it and trying to get him warm. One thing you also she does is she actually like cradles and gets him close and goes with skin to skin contact to get him warm. It is their way.
Oh goodness, I believe he has transmitted it to me as well. Oh, I need cuddles. I need cuddles.
All right, so Uruguin is taking good care of Lucius. Your friend Nanas is over, and he pulls you aside, Alis, and he's like, "I do not believe that Lucius could make this journey to the mountain. We must make haste to find our others. I believe you or I should stay here with him."
You are the leader. If I fall, it doesn't matter as much. I will go out and find, if there are them on the way. I will definitely.
I will meet with this Krotos and see if we can't set up some type of camp here. Because I wonder if not only the 3 that you may find, but also the legion that we are looking for, the battalion. There could be as many as another 100 of us scattered about this strange land.
Yes. You happen to notice the buildings as we came up at the docks?
They did look different.
Odd. Very odd indeed. Seems out of place.
He also goes, "Also, this building here, did you notice the signs on the outside of this building? Strange carvings. I've seen them before."
The runes?
I'm not sure, but I'm almost positive I saw these same etchings on some of the stones back in Britannia.
Ah, the druids. Yes. They harry our every step in that damned place. I will do some investigating and see what I can uncover on the mountain.
I will stay here and look after Lucius. If you find anyone, send them back our way.
Will do.
He stops and he goes, "You're going to need supplies. Let me get with Krotos and see what type of supplies we can gather." And he reaches over and he grabs the denarii and he goes, "Gold is gold. I guess it's good here as well." And he takes it over to Krotos and begins to try to negotiate for some supplies. And that's where we're going to leave Nanas over with Krotos as he's talking with that. So now we have our friend Quinn is out foraging, looking for Silverleaf. You're going outside, I guess, to look over these strange runes or druidic letters, wherever they are. And we have Magos. What were you doing again?
I'm looking for Aptontis.
You look about and you see that he is nestled himself at the top of the building, like in the rafter, looking down and about. Just always watching, always protecting.
Mm. Do I still have the ability to see through his eyes when he flies?
He is your familiar, yes. And just so everyone knows, your familiar Raftontix is a strange creature. He's an Archaeopteryx, and let me get his image up here as well. It's like a small flying lizard creature. That's it. Well, I don't have the full thing, just the token. But he has feathered wings, but is also like a cross between a small bird and velociraptor, but about yay big. And it's an Archaeopteryx.
And I move. I give him the eye, and he immediately swoops down and swoops out of the building.
So at this point, you're seeing through his eyes?
Yes, and take him out and about, and I fly past. Is it Aeolus?
Aelus.
Aeolus. Fly past Aeolus, and then looking up towards the mountains in the darkness. And what do I see?
You do see with your animal eyes, so you get a stronger vision, a very hint of a green glow permeating from the mountains. It seems obviously odd. It's some type of power resonating from the mountains, arcane energy, possibly nefarious in origin, but definitely some type of power that you see to be almost like slowly, very faintly strobing in the mountain.
Okay. Interesting. And as he makes his way up into the sky, and kind of twirls back towards the fire, are there any? I'm gonna fly towards Kronos's room.
Okay. You go by Krotos' room. He is in deep negotiation right now as he's counting out coin and talking to another individual that you don't know, but he's also talking to Nanas, who seems to be the head of the Roman contingent. As they you see that they're negotiating supplies and provisions.
Okay. Does he have any access to the Romans' coin?
Does Raftontix?
Yes.
No. It would be hard. They're basically very focused on counting the coin on the table.
Okay. I take note of the coin.
The coin
And
does look odd, and it does look different. than what you've seen. It seems to have some individual crested on the coin with like a strange plant growing out of his ear, possibly.
Hmm. All right. I release Raftantis to eat.
Okay. With that, you kind of come to, and Raftantis goes and finds some food. And with that, we'll circle back to Morrigan. I'm gonna do this for another round, and then we're gonna call it for the night and move on to the next morning. So, Morrigan, what do you want to do before getting your rest?
Saying my prayers to Lanakwa, looking at the moon for any type of changes, just checking out the constellations and the astrology, trying to get as much information as I can. Once I look for like one of the older townsfolk that I always see sitting around when I come visit, kind of like, the old guys that sit on the old guys that sit in front of the bar that know everything and everything that goes on in town. Those are the type of people I'm looking for.
Okay. As you walk into the bar, let's back up. So you're praying to Lanakwa. You're looking
Right.
at the stars, and as you do that, there is a brief second that you look down, and there is like a log that's been cut and is being used as like a bench next to like one of the fires. And as you look down for a brief moment, you see like this blackness like creep over and begin to like instantly decay the log. You shake your head and look again, and it was an illusion or something strange. But the log is fine. But just for a brief second, you had this strange inclination of something rotten or foul about the wood.
I'll still tap it with my staff just to make sure
Tap
that
it
my
with the staff. It seems fine. It seems freshly cut. It's strong wood. It is a redwood. It's a good wood.
Is there anybody else around?
There's lots of folks walking around. As the ale pours, the people are getting closer to the fire, and the clothes seem to be coming off. As typical at this time of night. It's about that time.
I'll grab a tankard from a random, just somebody. Look around for like a person that I know in the village that has been around for a long time.
Sure, let me give you a contact here. Motius. He is a fellow woodsman. He is also a hunter. That is Motius. Younger, brash, likes to talk about his trappings. Morrigan, Morrigan, and he is inebriated, drunk, maybe something else going on. Possibly gotten into the shrooms. He's having a good time, as is typical on. This is basically a Monday, which is Earth Day. It's Earth Day here.
It is. Modius, it is good to see that you are bright and talkative, I see. Here, an ale for you.
It was, another! He's double fisting at this point. He's drinking one, he's drinking the other. He goes, Morrigan, what brings you to town?
Resupply, pick up some stragglers that I found along the way. Strange goings on in the mountains, I hear.
Yes.
What do you know?
Oh, boy, do I know. Come, I show you. Come. And he's kind of, he doesn't normally talk like this. He's really out of it. He reaches down and he grabs what looks to be a severed bear claw, and he brings it to you and he goes, look, eaten. One bite, look. And you look, and something ate this bear, and it completely bit through its leg. It looks as the only thing left was the leg.
So what he's holding is just the bear claw?
Yeah. But you can see like a clean like bite tear through you're basically getting the bottom half of its shin.
Where did you find this?
Ranging to the east.
Is that where out of character, is that where the light?
The foothills.
Is that where the light came
Yeah.
from? Okay. How long ago did you find this?
was just last night.
And have you met any strange folk or saw anything else strange along the way?
I did. Ah, strange. I saw.
Drink up. Your throat is getting dry, my friend.
Sorry. Strange. They were eating one another. I let them be.
Wait, repeat that?
There were 3 of them, and 2 of them began to eat the 3rd one. I let them be.
Let who be?
I think they were those Eskimos.
Where?
To the east, where I found the bear claw.
Thank you for this, Modius. I wish you a good and lucky evening. There are many females dancing around the fires that would appreciate your briskness.
He kind of,
Good luck.
of course, and he kind of like as he does it, he kind of falls, literally falls out of the scene. As now we go to Wes's character, Quinn. You're out and about. You go outside of town. You easily find some Silverleaf, not 50 yards from. You can still hear the dancing, the frivolity of the town as you're outside. As you and your trusty companion have cut up some Silverleaf and just looking about the wood. Is there anything you want to do as you're in the outskirts? Just for a point of reference, you're going to be kind of like in this area.
Do I notice any of the glowing that I had heard them talking about?
You have seen this in the past. You don't see it right now because you're kind of deep in wood. Right now, as you look up, you see, and a typical sign right now is you do see Phobos. It's a smaller moon. It does give off a red glow, but in the horizon, you see the giant ring of Saturn as it's coming over the horizon. Saturn hangs very close as Hyperborea orbits Saturn.
So I'm familiar with these green lights. This is well-traveled territory between here and my village.
It is. You have seen it. I won't say it's common, but it's not uncommon either. You've seen it more recently. I will say this. It is a recent phenomenon.
I'm gonna look around while I'm outside of the town immediately and see if I notice anything strange as far as tracks or anything affecting nature that's abnormal.
You look about, you don't see anything in the vicinity that would be abnormal. This is a pretty well-traveled area right now. You do look out, you see, as you in the bay, you see several boats coming in, fishing, everything seems pretty normal. But as you do get outside the wood and look about, you do look up, and in the mountain range, you do see this very faint green shimmer come across the mountain.
But no effect on like nature at all. Like nothing's.
You don't see anything out of place. No.
Okay. I'm familiar with this village. So are those buildings that they were talking about? Are they new or are they something that I've seen before?
They are recent. I will say this. You do know a little of the history here. This clan found this village and took it over. It was abandoned. So everything from the wall on the inside was settled by someone else and built by someone else, but this clan took it over. It's entirely, the rumor is that they all died as part of a plague that happened years and years ago, and then this clan took it over. The buildings on the outside were actually built by the full-blood Picts, and that they kind of fought over. So you have kind of, basically this group of people did not build any of this, they're just squatting it.
Who are my common dealings with in the village? I would assume that my life as a trapper would lead to some trade.
You do know Modius, who we just met earlier, and there's another one that you know, Vindix. Vindix is the person that you would sell your trappings to. He's basically the leather worker and skinner. Let me go ahead and give this person to you guys as well. This is Vindix. You know this individual. You saw him in town working, but when you do your ranging and things, you sell your findings and things to him.
I'm gonna head back into the town now. I'm anxious to assist the young healer.
Okay. I bet. So you come back in town. You see the young healer. What's her name?
Uruguayan?
Uruguayan. She is taking good care of Lucius, who is coughing and trying to stay warm next to the fire. She is completely like holding him and trying to keep him warm next to the fire. As the longhouse is either it's gotten quieter as the night goes, as this is kind of the pass out place in town. So most of the people here are kind of ending their night of fun.
I would anxiously bring it over to her and, you know.
All right, so you bring it over to you, and she says, "Oh, thank you." She gets up and kind of like tucks him in. And at this point, like she's almost completely nude as she gets up. She takes the things from you. She's like by the fire. Now you see her full body, and she's got like this blue paint all over her. It's like this. It's not tattooed. It's like this pasted paint. But she's like grinds all this stuff up. Goes next to the fire. Makes this strange concoction of paste. Brings it over to him and starts like feeding it down his throat. And also like pasting it over his forehead and stuff, and covering him in this concoction.
All right, that would distract me a little bit, being a little bit more scientific than the rest of my
Correct.
brethren. I would be curious, like, yes, the young man of me was curious at first, but now this has got me really confused, and I'm going to ask her about it.
So here's the thing. You're from a very strange sect of Eskimo, and this is a very strange sect of Pict, and they both see each other as strange. So their ways and your ways are very odd and different. So it is you're playing this correctly. You're a young man seeing this, and that's interesting. But then you see what she's doing. He goes, "That is you're unsure if this is going to be any help whatsoever. Could be, but it does seem odd."
What does she tell me anything about it?
She goes, "Oh, this was taught to me by my mother. It is a good remedy. It'll put him to sleep, and he'll wake in maybe 2 days." So it seems like she's putting together some type of sleeping tonic.
What was the other ingredient?
And she goes up and she pulls, and you see these berries, and he goes, "Oh, very rare, and she looks at it and she shows you, if you ever see these, they are very valuable, and they're these small, they'll have like a little reddish hue to them, and she goes, you'll find them on the inside of a speckled blue lotus."
Am I familiar with that plant at all?
There are several lotuses in Hyperborea. All of them are powerful and are sought after. You do know the speckled blue lotus typically grows on the dead.
Interesting.
It's a rare sight, but that's what you've heard.
Okay. Tell her thank you. I'm always interested in anything that can help in my adventures in the wilds.
Oh, if you ever see any lotus, please know they are very valuable to us here.
I will make note of that.
You know of several. There's a black lotus, a golden lotus, there's a russet lotus, and a blue speckled lotus. Those are just the four off the top of your head.
Okay, I'll keep an eye out. Maybe I can gain some favor with her.
Okay. With that, let's go ahead and end your story. Is there anyone else who wants to do anything tonight before? Now, the last thing is I do want to go back to Danny's character. You're outside. You look over and you do see this strange swirling like a carving, and it goes all the way around the wall of this. I say it's a longhouse, but it's almost like oblong as it goes around, and you see it, and it and part of it repeats, but you feel like it's telling some type of a story, but you can't quite make it out. But you see this swirling pattern, and it does look familiar. It looks like something you saw on some monolithic stonework back in Britannia. You don't know what it is, but it does look familiar.
Okay. All right. I'll I'll let Tellus Forrest know when I go back in
Okay.
what I found. He'll like that.
Um,
And
okay, so let's do that. So you go and tell us Forrest, and he goes, oh, you found. Well, take me to this. Take me. So he gets up, and he was half asleep and half knocked out already. So he gets up, he grabs his cloak, and you take him outside as as you show him this. He looks up and goes, yes, I know this. It tells the story of the Green Death. He looks over and goes, I don't understand all of it, but it is a record of. Oh, you don't know about that. Hyperborea was a place of mankind flourished until the Green Death came. It came from the stars. Some say it was a punishment from the gods and nearly wiped out all of humanity. Only the strongest survived, or the chosen by the gods. Mankind had to restart here on Hyperborea. This tells the story.
is this a well-known tale? Does everyone in this land know this?
Different iterations of it, but in Crimeria, where I am from, it is well known.
I see. Well, your little grandfather, I know we will be leaving in the morning. Are you coming or are you staying?
I will not know until I confer with Apollo in the morning. He will guide my steps.
Well, rest up. You've been more than helpful.
All right.
Anything I can do to repay you, please let me know.
So in the morning, we'll fast forward. Everyone gets some sleep. You wake up in the morning. You can see that Nonus has gotten up early to get everything ready for your journey. He has procured a sled and has several bags of food, provisions, rations. There's some rope, some climbing gear, tents. He's really went all out and got everything that he could. And you see that he looks over and he sees you, Alis, come out, and he goes, "Come here. I was able to get all the provisions, but I did not have enough coin to get one of their cattle, so to pull this." So he looks over and goes, "I'm going to lend you Marcus." And as he says that, Marcus looks over, indignant at the idea of pulling a sled. As he pulls the horse, he goes, "You be good, Marcus." And this is beneath him. And remember, Marcus seems very smug, and he's a proud horse, and he doesn't like the idea of being used to pull a sled behind him. But that is what is happening. So he's putting the bridle and everything and get together. He still has a saddle and everything on him, so you could use him elsewhere. But he is very indignant at the injustice of having to pull this. He is not happy. But you will.
I'm gonna say
you will gain Marcus on your journey.
I'm gonna tell Nonus while I'm away, and may the gods bring me back. See if there is anyone here who has smithing skills who might be able to forge us maybe something longer than a gladius. As much as I love to see a man's eyes as I kill him, the foes here are not men, and I do not wish to be close to them.
If we are going to have an encampment, we are going to need a good smith for repairs of our own arms and equipment. But I am with you. I will see to it. He goes, and he goes. He also hands you a pen and parchment. He goes, "Here, be sure you draw some type of map on your way, so that you can find Gaius or any of the others, so they can find their way home."
I'll clasp them as they do in Rome, like for Rome.
For Rome. And he goes, "And God's willing, this land will be ours soon."
It's just like back home.
He goes, "Or we'll be home, one or the other." And
Yes.
with that, Nonus bids you adieu and wishes you the best. As that happens, Magos, you awake to this strange muttering, and you understand in the Latin tongue that is being spoken. You look over and you see Tellus Forus outside as the sun is coming up. You see him praying and gesturing towards, and you almost see like a yellowish glow about him. You can't tell if it's him or if it's just the morning light coming over him as he seems to be conferring with Apollo, you find it strange. But interesting. Curious, maybe.
Do I see Quinn?
Yes, you see he's already up. Quinn, what do you do? What's your morning ritual first thing in the morning? What are you doing?
Well, I'm making sure Takani is eaten for the day, and I take note of the weather and conditions to try to make plans, based on what I think the rest of the day will be, and I try to plot where I think we should travel.
You know that you have a window for this expedition. It is only maybe a few weeks before that window will close. The mountain gap will close with the weather. You would say 2 to 3 weeks at most. So wherever you are within 10 to 12 days, you need to be turning back. That is your window. Once the weather turns, you don't want to get trapped in the mountains.
I would relay all this to Magos because he has hired me at this point, so I feel like
Sure. That is the length of the expedition in your mind. So as you're getting everything together, you have your arrows, you have your weapons, you're checking all of that, your armor, everything is good. You're also going out and looking over all of the provisions and see that you do have enough provisions in there. You could also range while you're out to fill any gaps, but they've given you enough ale and they've got skinned water and things like that. So you seem
ale is important for many reasons, not just drinking. But I also would want to make sure.
Sacrilege.
I would also want to make sure that I have some lots of twine, lots of short, strong sticks, anything that I could use to rig a trap, like a snare.
There's lots of small sticks and kindling you have, and you do carry 100. I think it's 100 feet of twine that you have. It's like fishing twine that you use for various things, but that is it's called a sinew cord. You have it on your sheet. All right, as you are getting all your provisions ready and getting all that, let's move over to Morrigan. What are you doing this morning? What's your morning ritual?
My morning ritual is give my thanks for waking up again to Unaqua. Look over the where there's really no sun, I guess, in a way, but I'm trying to figure out if the weather is going to be good for where we're going.
It is. They consider morning as soon as the sun comes up, so it is beginning to peak. You have about 5 hours of good daylight before it all goes bad. So that is kind of where you are right now.
And I'm going to head over to Aragwin quickly, like before we leave. I'm old brother, and I must confer with somebody. And I'll run over to her tent. Is she in?
Yeah, she's already up and about.
I understand that you're the healer of the town.
She looks over and goes, "Yes."
I have good coin. Do you have any healing concoctions? None of the snake oil, the real stuff.
I might. How much do you have?
20 gold pieces.
Do you have 20 gold pieces?
Yeah.
Huh, okay. And she looks over and goes, I have 2, but they are worth way more than your 20 gold pieces.
How much?
He goes, I'd sell 1 for 20, but not both.
So 2 for 40?
Yes.
I have 40 gold. Remember, I rolled the numbers. I don't have much equipment or anything.
Oh, that's right. You also have the that pearl. There was a pearl that you found in the last game.
No.
How much? I'll hand over the coin. I'll keep the pearl. Will this suffice for both?
He goes, yes, I will. And she reaches over and she goes over and she lifts a stone off of the ground and she's buried a hole and she reaches in and she has like a little a pouch and she kind of reaches up and blesses it. She hands it to you. She hands you these 2 small vials. They are they look different, and it's not something that they've made here. These are basically scavenged or confiscated, but she has some type of strange liquid on the inside of it. She goes, "Drink these. The power of these will bind your wounds."
And these are real.
Of course.
I've had snake oil before. I thank you. The Nako bless you. I must leave. By the way, if I find any herbs, I'll bring them back.
Of course.
And I leave.
Okay.
Just put
so
2...
You have 2 vials of something.
Something.
Right.
All right. Good enough.
You've got juice.
Yeah.
I got nope. And I only got 20 copper in my name.
There you go. Okay. So with that, you take that. All right. So Magos, as you walk around, you see Tellus Forrest getting up. He goes. He looks over at his Grecian friend. He goes, "Fortune will smile on you. I feel the wind of the mountain calling and the sun on me. I believe Apollo bids me to join you on your trek." Can't hear
The
you.
north wind is blowing. The question is it blowing us towards or away our destiny?
I believe it is the gods beckoning us to find the mysteries of the mountain.
Then I will take that and your glowing yellow friend as an omen. Let us move on. Quinn.
With that, all of you gather. So we have the 5 of you. So there's the 4 of you plus Tellus Forrest. As you make out on your way with Marcus pulling the sled. It's a little hard getting it out of town until you get to the grass and eventually as the light snow. But it does move once you get going. So he is pulling it up as you begin your travels. We'll fast forward throughout this journey. I will give an image up here so you can kind of get the lay of the path as you're making and this green hue that you see in the mountains. You travel for most of the day past your 5 hours of daylight into darkness. You will have to travel in darkness or you will go extremely slow because you only have 5 hours. So you will be traveling some in the darkness. But there is Jeff, help me because you're keeping count of the calendar. We've advanced 1 day. What does the calendar say for the moon?
Hold on. I actually just had it up.
Jeff is our keeper of the calendar. There is an official Hyperborea calendar, and we are tracking the moon because it does matter mechanically in the game.
The 24th, we are going from the first quarter to... We are actually in a full moon.
Is it Phobos or Serene?
Actually, it is Phobos.
Oh, perfect. The bad one. All right, so it's a dark night as you're traveling. There is a green hue on the horizon of the mountains. There is also a reddish glow coming from the skies above. It's very slight that this thing gives off as you are traveling over the land. I'm going to say marching orders. I believe our huntsman would be in the front. After that,
For sure.
After that, what is the order? So what I'm going to do is just for the simple sake of argument here, we're going to grab everybody just so I can understand. So we have Quinn. We'll say he's first. Who is after Quinn? And I'm also
I'll
gonna
go
say
after.
that Takani is going to be right there with you.
Takani is going to be actually a little ahead since he's not being used to sled or anything.
Yeah, that's
He's
fine.
going to kind of be...
Slightly ahead. I got you. And then you said Alis is next. And then
Fun to think.
Marcus is going to be also the cart.
I'll be with Marcus in the cart, like kind of guiding, like just walking ahead of him, but
Gotcha. Okay, kind of helping out with that. Okay, so that's going to put Morgan.
talking to him, saying, "Hey, buddy, sorry, but
Magos, where are you at walking with all of this?
Not too far away from Quinn.
Okay, so we'll kind of put you here, right behind him. And then Tellus Forrest is slower. He'll be kind of dragging behind like this. I think this is kind of our walking order. Okay. As you're walking, Talos Force is trying to keep up with you. He is stumbling a bit, but you can hear him muttering, "Apollo, give me strength," as he's marching. It isn't exactly a fast pace; it's just a rough terrain. As you are traveling, let's go ahead. We'll kind of go from the front, so I can kind of know what everyone's doing as you're traveling. So we'll start with Quinn up front. What are you doing? What are you carrying? You know, you don't need torchlight right now because you do have. It is dark, but you are getting some ambient light from Phobos, and also that green glow on the horizon does give you a little bit of a focal point.
I've always got my bow in my offhand ready with an arrow, that I'm holding between my fingers,
Gotcha.
just because I am completely focused on my surroundings, tuning, like, people have to kind of talk to me twice to kind of get my attention because I am keyed in on because I know that there's things out here that could just kill us. So
You're also, to add to that, this is something your character would be doing. You're also, part of that scanning is also scanning to Connie very closely. You notice any flinch in him whatsoever is going to alert you before you know anything.
right.
So that's kind of part of your scan. Okay. So you're kind of watching. You're looking at for tracks. You're looking in the surroundings. You're doing all of that. Okay. As you're doing that, directly behind you is Magos. So what is Magos doing as he's walking?
I'm feeding Reftantis from my pouch, and just following behind and watching as Quinn does what he does best.
I do want to back up for just a second for the day and just kind of what did you have 5 spells that you can prepare. Will you text me the 5 that you know?
Yes.
Or write them down. I don't care. But yeah, just you need to know the 5 spells that you have ready to go. All right. As you guys are going, let's go. Alis, what are you doing? Also, I have a question. There was the question of the armband that you found. Who was carrying that? What did y'all do with it? Morgan has it.
He's carrying it.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
Alis, what are you doing?
He has it.
I'm gonna fall back towards Tellus Force and how are you doing, old man?
I'm trying to keep up, but doing well. Apollo guides us.
I spoke it over with Marcus. He says he doesn't mind if you ride on the sled for a bit.
It was that would be wonderful. He's like out of breath. As he does that, he reaches up, he gets on. You do hear a neigh and almost an argument from Marcus that the sled suddenly got a good 140 pounds heavier. He's like, you kind of hear this horse. If the horse could cuss, he just did.
I'll walk back kind of where I was and nuzzle him. Be like, it's for Rome. It's for the good of the
He
Romans.
seems indignant. It's really odd. It's almost like the horse can hear you. All right. So, all right. So you're taking care of Tellus Force. Tellus Force, as soon as he gets on, he begins looking up at the stars, and you can hear him muttering, prayers to Apollo. Morgan, what are you doing?
I'll reach into my pouch and just kind of shake my head, crazy old buzzard. And I'll pull out an apple that I got in the town, and I just kind of like I don't even look at Marcus, I just hand it off to him as we're walking.
Yeah, he immediately takes the apple and just,
Yeah.
much.
And then I'll walk ahead a little bit to Magos. You are new. I've never met you before.
Yes, I am from Greece. And you?
Well, you're Greek, but you're from Cromarium, which is the biggest city in Hyperborea.
Comarium.
I've heard of this city. I've never been off the coast, but interesting. You seem like a wise one. What do you think of this? And I'll pull out that bear claw that I borrowed from the drunk.
You took the bear claw. Okay. That's
Yeah,
great.
I just took it away. He was drunk. He didn't know. I gave him a thing of ale for it. He won't remember.
Can I use my identify spell?
This is not a spell. This is just a severed bear claw. It has still got blood on it. it is mangled and disgusting. But you do see what looks to be just a bear claw that seems to be chewed or severed. It looks disgusting.
Mm.
They found this where we're going.
Did they bring it back from where we're going?
Yes, they said that there was. He was drunk as could be, but from what he said, there was 3 and the 2 ate the 1. So I don't know what could kill a cave bear of this size. I've never seen one up this close and lived.
Maybe you should
But-
bring it to the huntsman.
Now, is he saying that your friends that you're looking for are eating each other?
I don't know. These Eskimos are strange, especially up in those parts. Even the full-blood Picts try and stay away from most of them.
Well, I can tell you that with the power of the stones from which I am looking for, a necromancer could pull something from a dark place that could do something like what you're holding.
Your friend, Quinn? You, Quinn.
I would have to like turn around and like I'd gently whistle to Connie to stop for a second. And I
Before we go any further, since you're, what do they call you? Oh, a wild huntsman. What do you think
Huntsman.
of this?
I would investigate it.
You look over it, and it is very strange to see something. You do look at it, and you do see that whatever did kill this did at least eat the leg with one bite. You can tell there is on the leg, there's almost like this almost crowning point where you can see where it looks like 2 very large teeth cut through it. Imagine if you bit an apple, and when you just with your buck teeth you pulled it back, and there would be that tear down the middle where you can see your teeth. You see that in the side of this bare leg. So whatever ate this was so big that leg fit between its front 2 teeth.
Does this remind me of
Whatever this is seems way bigger than what you're talking about, what you're thinking.
bigger than that?
Yes. This, whatever ate this was very large.
We're basically like we're kind of like pulled over to the side, taking a breather for a minute while we're talking about this.
An ale break. Pee break is what you're doing.
I would say if we saw what did this, we need to run.
Agree.
I don't know what's going up in these mountains, but from what I understand, speaking with the town folk, signs of cannibalism and strange goings on, especially with the undead that we saw and the walking corpses, the wild men. We could be walking into a trap for all we know, but the person I got this from, I trust, even though he was drunk off his ass.
Well, this was not when he said cannibalism. This was not a person. This was like huge.
This was a big beast.
2 things. There were 3, then there was 2. The Eskimos. This is also a separate entity unto itself.
So he's saying that 3 Eskimos, 2 ate the third.
Do I know if cannibalism is a known thing in the disciples?
Not generally. Now, you can only speak to what you believe in. There are other sects. Cannibalism is pretty much frowned upon, from what you understand, in either of those. But there could possibly be a third faith that might confer to that type of thing.
2 cannibals munching on a clown. What did the one one cannibal say to the other?
Does this taste funny to you?
It's funny.
Hey, does this taste funny to you?
It's funny.
All right. So what we're gonna, as you guys are conferring upon this, it is getting to that point where you need to camp. It is getting late. Even Phobos's light is dimming. Quinn, you know this area. You know there is a very small, secluded, unknown to most, watering hole close to here. It is small, and you know it is a safe place to camp. You bring them to this place. You know it because there's a ruin there of a statue that's been there forever, but it's a good place to lay low. There's good tree coverage, and you bring them there. It is one of your favorite places to camp. You've stayed here many times, and that is where we're going to do our first camp. So for the sake, we need to go ahead and know, first, second, third watch. Since Magos got up, it'll be third watch. First, I guess, is Quinn and Takani, and who's taking second watch? We'll put the Greeks on third watch, and then the second watch will be, I guess, Alis and Morgan.
So is there only one? Like, is this like up against a rock formation, or is it completely in the clear? Or
So you basically got a circle of trees. There's a very small. It's like it's a puddle of water that's about 20 feet around, and it's basically there's there's got to be some type of underground well that kind of feeds into this, but it's just one area of clean water that you come and get. It looks like at one point it might have been a place of worship. There is a crashed or ruined statue of some individual that you don't know anything about. It's not something that you care too much about. But when you bring Morgan and the rest of them here, Morgan, you recognize this as like, that might have been a very old take on Lenaqua.
This is a good tiding. I'll walk around it for a little bit to see,
It is extremely old and is faded, and it is possible this is from the first civilization, from before the Great Death, the Green Death.
while everybody's talking and in town, I'm gonna take out my twine and use the natural trees to wrap around it, and use both ends and kind of rig up kind of a deadfall.
Gotcha.
To where if anything hits it, I can set off a sound.
As you're doing that, Telesphorus also gets some of the supplies out, and begins making a campfire, making some food, and you just have this camp scene. So you rig up some traps about, and we're gonna go. Okay. So as the night goes, first watch goes without a hitch. You see the night, it begins to fade. You get sleep. Second watch gets up. Alis and Morgan, is there anything that you two? He was doing traps and things. Is there anything y'all want to do during your second watch, or y'all are just up?
While he's walking around or setting watch, I'm looking more into the statue, just kind of like rubbing it, cleaning it off a little bit.
There's a lot of moss grown over it. Part of it's crumbled on the ground. You can definitely feel that this place was serene and special. You're also surprised that you didn't know about it.
Yeah, so that's what I'm doing at the moment, but I'm keeping,
Gotcha. Alos, what about you? Anything at night?
I'm going to mention to Morgan, perhaps we should show Magos or Quinn the bracelet. They might have some insight on it.
I'd rather tell it to the, I point over to Telesphorus. What did he tell you about it?
I don't think he ever actually saw it.
I would speak to him first. He seems to be full of knowledge.
That's a good idea.
But be careful.
Indeed.
The deity it is attached to is not a cherry one.
Yes.
Okay.
All right. I'm just going to kind of, walk the perimeter.
All right.
As a good Roman does.
You walk the perimeter as a good Roman. Your night goes without a hitch. It is still a strange night. It is odd. You lay down and you wake up your Grecian friends to take third watch. Magos, you get up. Begrudgingly, Raftontix is already up. It is early morning. Your friends will be sleeping for another couple of hours. But you and Telesphorus have the third watch. Telesphorus annoyingly goes by the water, and instead of watching, he seems to be just watching the water and praying. ever praying to Apollo, which, interestingly enough, this is the second devotee of Apollo that you have traveled with, and they seem to be very annoying equally.
Yes. I look and I just go, And then am I aware of where they found this archaeological find?
They haven't told you about it.
All right. Well, I'm going to keep my eyes open, but I'm also going to keep my eyes open for any. I just want to investigate. I'm always looking for star metal.
All right, so you go about the area.
I got my staff. I'm just going to kind of look through. Is it snowing up here, or what's the weather like?
You are getting into the snow. The entire area has a light dusting. Think of it as a good southern snow at this point. It's about a quarter inch, and nobody knows what to do about it. It's mass chaos. Everyone's going out and buying bread. It is mass chaos. It is a light snow. There is a little bit of snow on the trees. But you can tell it is quickly turning, and in another half a day, you're going to be in the good snowy part of the foothills. So as you're doing that, you're looking about. You do look up to the sky, and as you're looking over at Saturn, you see the ring, and in a brief second, you see a shadow come between you and Saturn in the night sky. You only see it for a brief second, but you do notice that something moved between you and the night sky.
How quickly can I use my light spell?
Extremely fast.
As I immediately, I'm already looking for star metal, but as I see this, I just immediately boom,
Okay, what are you casting light on? It has to go on an object.
The trees in front of me.
Oh, you're going to put it on a tree. Okay. All right, so you cast light on a tree. It is this giant illuminate. Let me look that up. I want to see how big of a light source you create. This beacon of light.
Page 211.
Thank you. Look at you.
It is the season.
It is the season. A 30-foot diameter sphere of soft lambent illuminance. Oh, somewhat dimmer than full daylight. Okay, good. All right, so when you hit that, everyone in the camp immediately kind of wakes up and looks about as this giant light. It is Quinn. You look up first, and your sense of surprise, something that you instinctively know, something is wrong. You jump up, you have your bow and arrow as you look up in the sky, and you do see two very large flying things descending on your position, heading towards the light. Wes, since you are fast, I will let you react first with arrow as you see two. You can't even make out what it is because you're a little blinded by the light, but you do see two things descending.
Blinded by the light.
There it is. All right, so what do you want to do? First action.
And just instinctively shoot.
Yep, take a shot.
2 shots.
Oh, okay. You just need to go shoot and then shoot again. Okay.
All right, so I need to roll longbow.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to let you take it. Hang on. This is before we roll initiative and before we make announcements. I'm letting you get a free shot. So you
Just one shot then?
Just one shot. Yeah. So take one shot.
That's all it took.
Okay. That arrow sails into the night sky. Forever gone. That arrow is. All right. So with that, let's make announcements. So basically, everyone wakes up, looks up. You hear a screaming sound coming from the sky. There's two things coming in. Everyone's blinded by light. Everyone's kind of like scurrying about. What do you want to do on this first round? Basically, the Quinn was able to alert everyone, so there wasn't an ambush. So that's an ability that he has. So now you see this, you're alerted to it, and there's a moment where we now get to make announcements. So these things are flying in. So with that, we'll start with Quinn. You're going to take 2 more shots?
I think I'm going to. Well, I'm going to set up about 5 arrows in front of me, or I'm just grabbing a handful of arrows and sticking them in the ground in front of me.
Okay.
So I could probably only get one shot off after that.
All right. So if you want, now that's a full round. So if you wanted to, you're gonna get all 5. So you're what you want to do is set up 5 arrows in the ground. Okay. It's smart. Just go ahead and get it ready. Okay. So let me get another light source here. I'm just gonna say it's this, just for the sake of. Put it here. It is not a big thing of fire. I need another light source.
Where's Marcus at?
Give me 1 second. I'll get you.
Sure.
All right. With that. All right, Marcus. Let me get him. Encounters, handouts, NPCs. Marcus, over here. Marcus will always be where the cart is. All right.
He's not attached to the cart though at the moment,
He's not
right?
attached to the cart at this point, no. But let me cue up some combat music. All right, so announcements. Quinn is setting his arrows. What is Morgan doing?
I wake up and see what's going on. I grab my short bow and knock an arrow in and gonna fire.
So you're going with ranged. Aylis, what are you doing?
Casting.
Casting. Good. Magos, what are you doing?
I'm getting ready to cast Burning Hands.
Okay. Casting as well. Okay, so you have double casting. Okay. They're gonna tell me what they're gonna do. Okay, they've made their announcements. All right, now what I need is we're gonna have a D6 roll. You're gonna have 1 roll for the bad guys, 1 roll for you guys. Highest roll goes first. First roll of the night. Let's give it to Wes. Wes, roll a D6 for me.
Just do roll d6.
Just a straight up roll. I'm going on a 5. Ooh, also a 5. All right, so in this case, it's a tie. So what we're going to do is I have to look up the dexterity of these things, and we're going to do based off of dexterity. So let's kind of make it real fast for this. I believe Wes has the highest dexterity, so you're going to go first.
Yeah, mine's 17.
Real quick, what's the dex check around the table? I know Danny's is like 10.
15.
10.
15. Chris, yours I think is 9.
9.
Okay, let me. As these things swoop down, you see they're small and then they flurl their giant leathery wings out, and you notice them immediately. Now, Quinn, you've noticed these immediately as they're pterodactyls. Everyone that recognizes this. Aylis, you're immediately freaked out. You have no idea what this is. This looks like a dragon. Is it going to breathe fire? You have no idea. But these things are massive. So let me go ahead and pull out what a Hyperborean pterodactyl looks like. Let me get that.
Got some pterodactyl burgers.
So here's a pterodactyl, big teeth, leathery wings,
Wow.
has a bit of fur on the backside. But we have 2 of these coming in. They're actually a little bit bigger. We're going to copy that, and then we're going to paste. And this one's coming down towards the horse. And this one is coming down towards... Where's Magos on here? Oh, I didn't put Magos on here. Magos, you were here. Hang on. This needs to go away.
I'm by the tree.
Yeah, this is the tree that you cast it on, and this thing's coming down towards you. All right. So these are coming down. So I got to look up what is the... Hang on. What is the dexterity of a pterodactyl?
Are you showing something right now? Because I don't see anything.
Oh, did I not move you guys?
I see it.
Chris, reload roll 20.
I see the blue dice.
Wait, I know what it is. I have to give you vision. Can you see it now, Chris? Refresh. Can you see?
Not yet. Loading.
Alright,
It's okay. Just keep playing the game.
No,
No,
yeah.
yeah. I can see in the bottom right corner a tree that's lit.
Chris, scroll down. Like, I think you just need to scroll the map around.
Okay, now I can see.
Okay,
Yes.
there you go. All right. So that's where everybody's at. Let me check this really quick.
It's pretty.
Isn't it though? Wow, Dex is high. All right, Wes, you go first. You set your arrows. You immediately stick 5 arrows in the ground. Takani takes a defensive posture behind you. These 2 things come down. I'm going to let Takani go on yours. So what do you want to tell Takani to do? He goes with you.
At this point, I think I just kind of want him to watch my back.
Okay. Heal. Dog.
Because these things fly and it can get around me quick enough to where I can respond.
They're definitely coming down to the ground. So you're setting the arrows. With that, it is going to go to our druid friend, Morgan. You see this thing coming down. It is flying towards Marcus.
I am. So refresh my memory. I can move, and then I'm gonna shoot, but I can move after the fact,
You
right?
can't. You only if you're trained with the bow.
Gotcha.
So that's
I am firing at it. I'm letting loose with my short bow.
Gotcha. Okay. You hit an AC of 6, which is enough to hit. All right, so you shoot this thing for 2. The arrow does. You see it as the arrow leaves. It kind of cuts the side of one of its wings. You did hurt it, not much, as it still is coming in. All right, with that, they get to go. This thing will be coming down and attacking the horse. It's looking for food. It will hit the horse.
No.
All right. It takes giant cut out of the horse. The horse falls on the ground as this thing lands on top of it, takes a bite out of the horse. The horse is kicking around and going crazy. It's on the ground, and this thing is basically lurched on the back of the horse. With that, it is now this one's turn. It's going to come down and attack Magos. Magos, you duck out of the way as this thing bites right over your head, but it is on the ground and it bites at you, and you jump back just in time as it misses you. With that, now the next in dexterity is where's Telesphorus? I didn't bring him on. Let me go grab him real quick. Telesphorus is going to always be right near Aelus, by the fire. Okay. Let's see. So Wes is gone. This is Magos. It's going to be Aelus is actually next.
Okay. I'm going to cast my protection from evil.
Okay. All right. So
And
this rune, this cold blue rune off your arm kicks off and it goes around you, and you get an aura of protection from evil. Okay. No, that's it for you. That's it. So that's what you do. You cast your aura.
can I move? Can I move?
You can.
I'm gonna move towards this guy over here.
Okay. Gotcha. I'm sorry. You do it. All right. With that, we now go to Magos.
I'm going to use Burning Hands.
All right. You cast Burning Hands. What does it look like? Show us. Tell us.
I am holding a stone that I have pulled from my pouch, and I am making some murmurings with my hand, with my mouth, and that are indecipherable. And as I do this, my hand begins to glow, and then I clasp my other hand, and then I hold on to whatever it is in my hand, and I shoot it out like this.
So this fire goes out in a 120-degree arc, engulfing, and the flame, it lights up the area as this basically like a little flamethrower comes out of this stone. As you've pulled this power out, you see this giant arc of fire go up. It completely engulfs this thing as as the fire begins to dissipate, it still kind of lingers onto this thing. You hear this screaming screech of this thing like echo through the night as you do a full 10 points of its straight damage. You can't save against it. So he takes this massive damage. It kind of staggers back at your power. With that, we go to Telesphorus, who is going to shoot an arrow over the one closest to Magos. Miss. Arrow goes off in the night. With that, I believe that's everybody. Now we're going to go next round, make some announcements. Chris, what are you going to do? What's Magos going to do?
Same.
Casting again. Danny, what's the mighty A-list going to do?
Melee.
Melee. All right. Morgan, what are you doing?
Casting.
Casting. Good. Okay. And then what are we going to see by our friend, the mighty Quinn? The mightiest of queens.
I will be shooting multiple arrows
Yes, you
at
will.
the one that's already on fire.
Yeah.
All right. The one that's on the horse.
I want to whittle the numbers down quick.
Okay.
So I want to hit the one that's already taken damage.
All right. Well, they both have, but the one on Mago seems to have taken the most. So you're going to be taking 2 shots. Okay. All right. With that,
Is it 2 or 3?
you get
'Cause-
2 this round and then 3 the next.
Okay.
You're on a 2-3 now. And with this, we now go to. They will tell me what they're going to do. Danny, give me a D6 roll. I'm only going on a 2.
Jesus.
You suck.
All right. This thing is going to try to kill the whole. Actually, it takes the bite out of the horse. It's now going to know. It's going to take a bite at Morgan. It's going to kind of shift over here and try to attack. Well, if it's on top of this. Okay, it is going to shift away. Ayla gets a free swing on it.
Ooh. Okay. All right, here we go.
This is my attack on. Ooh. Ayla does land a mighty blow. 7 points hit. All right, so then it makes its attack. It's going to hit poor Morgan. Morgan takes 6 as this thing
Ooh.
bites into you.
Ow. Really?
And
2 hit
now
points.
this one is going to take another bite at Magos. Your sorcerer's armor stands strong. As it goes, it would have hit you, but no, you have this shimmer that around you that helps you somehow deflect the attack.
Yes.
With
I
that,
don't know.
to the mighty Quinn, take your double shot.
Okay.
He goes to the shoot.
Yeah, I see it, but for some reason the longbow doesn't have a thing next to it anymore. Oh no, wait, there it is.
All right, so that's 4 damage, but it is a beast, so you do 5 damage because you have the
Yep.
predator ability. Okay.
Nice.
With that shot, it's hurting. It's really hurting. That shot hit it right in the chest. It kind of starts wheeling back away from Magos. Take your second shot. 10. No, that one flies off into the sky. This one is extremely hurt. So that's 2 shots into him. Now we go over to Morgan.
Is my spell disrupted, or do I have to?
You gotta make a concentration check.
And what do I roll for concentration check?
It is. We had to. What would we find out it was? It's the amount of damage that you took.
6.
Look that roll up real quick. We'll come back to you while you look up the concentration roll. Aylis,
I'm taking my swing.
okay. Take a step forward and get your swing. With the
Yo.
mighty Gladius. It's a miss.
Oh,
We'll go ahead and go to Telesphorus is going to take his shot. Miss. Is Takani doing anything?
Now that one is kind of down and on the ground, he's going to run and take a bite at it.
Yeah, he is. He runs up, take a bite, make your attack.
I don't know what to roll for him.
If you go to his, okay, just give me a d20 roll. His roll was pretty straight. That's a miss. He takes a snap at him. Snap at the wing, misses. Did we see the concentration check? Jeff?
Yeah, 1 second. I'm uploading it to so you can read it.
Okay.
Where to go? There we go.
See, mechanically the way this works is he begins casting his spell. Had you guys won the initiative, it could not have been disrupted. Because they won the initiative and hit him, the spell can now be disrupted. This does work in your favor as well when you're fighting an enemy caster.
Check the player chat. Basically,
I can't get into
optional.
Discord right now. Just tell it to me.
All right. Of country, unless otherwise indicated, spells cannot be cast while performing other actions. Da 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 da. Concentration roll. Shit. Where the hell is it? Combat counter off times target. Blah blah blah. Sorry. Still trying to figure it out. Spells efficiency. Concentrational check. Determine which attribute you're rolling against. Cleric and Druid are Wisdom. Roll 3d6 and add the sustained damage.
That's it. All right,
So
roll 3d6, add the damage to it, and it has to be under your stat, which is 17. So, why did you roll 23?
I don't know. I have no idea why it rolled 23.
Right, just roll 3d6 again.
1,
2,
2.
4. All right, so you rolled 10 plus 6 is 16. You're not disrupted.
I am casting Entangle directly like underneath it.
Okay.
I want everything to like come busting out of the snow and try and grab onto this thing.
Sure. I got you.
Sorcery
That's cool.
saving. Sorcery. Where target versus sorcery save. Thank you.
Alright, so I'm going to get this little entangle guy here. On him. Sorcery saving throw. Hot fail. He is caught up. These things like reach up and just start grabbing at him, and he is immobilized in this entanglement. With that is the end of the round. We're making announcements. Quinn.
And that was Morgan.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So now, Magos, you get to go again. It's now your turn.
Is this thing still flying?
It is on the ground. You were casting Burning Hands.
I was, but on this time I want to just run up in a furor and try to stab it with my.
You made the announcement to cast the spell, so you have to cast.
I already did. Okay, that's what I'm doing then.
All right, you burn this thing to the ground. So again,
all
the
right.
fire comes out. It just engulfs this thing. It barbecues.
How does it smell?
Delicious.
Could we eat it?
Yes. Yes, you can.
We're gonna eat good tonight.
Yes, you can.
I say to everyone, I have made great brisket with these in the past.
Are we going to be eating it and the horse?
All right, next round, let's make some announcements here. We have Tellus Forrest is going to make his announcement. He already has. Chris, what are you going to do? What's Magos doing?
I guess each one of those squares is quite a bit, right?
It's 5 feet. You could use your sling, or you could run up and try to hit it with a stick or cast another spell.
I'm gonna use my sling.
Okay, so you're ranged. Quinn, I'm guessing you're going to do your 3-shot.
Mm-hmm.
And then Morgan, what are you going to do?
The one that's in front of me, it's entangled, right?
Correct.
I'm going to try and stab it with my short spear.
Got it. And then Alis, you can do your double melee attack now since you are the master of the Gladius. And with that,
Yeah,
let's
you are
have
the master of the Gladius.
Chris, roll a d6 for me. I'm going on a 6.
A D6. Just a moment, please hold.
Bum, bum, bum.
All right, my turn. I'm immobilized. I'm stuck in entanglement. That is what I am doing. Now, it is Quinn's turn. Take your 3 shots.
All right.
Oh yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a natural 20. We have a crit. So let's tell Wes how cool crits are in Hyperborea. Hang on 1 second.
Wes, crits are very
Knock.
cool in Hyperborea.
Unako has blessed your hit.
What happened?
I have to get the crit chart out. Alright. As a fighter, you now need to roll a d6. A fighter subclass.
Oh, okay.
5. You do treble damage. So you did 6. Now you need to roll 2
Plus
more.
1.
Yeah, so that's 7. Now roll 2 more d6.
My God.
17. You headshot it. You shoot it right in the head, in between the brambles. You shoot right through it, and that one shot kills it. So you were about to go pull your second arrow and realized you didn't need to. So
Wow.
with that, you snipe the thing and bring it down.
And I yell out, "Great shot, Quinn!"
Wes, I think you lost 2 total arrows in the fight.
If I can recover the 2 from the bodies,
So
yes.
do this. Roll 2d6. If you roll a 3 or under, you recover the arrows on those.
Under?
Yeah, it's 3 or under. It's a 50-50 shot. So 1 in 3 chance, or 3 in 6 is what it is. So roll 2d6. You got to roll a 3 or under, and if you do,
Nope.
nope,
Either one.
they broke. But they did well. All right. So you're down 4 arrows. Y'all are also eating well. The 2 pterodactyls came in for a meal. They failed. The only problem is we have a very, very hurt druid and a very, very hurt horse.
I will go and tend to them both as best I can.
Tellus Forrest runs over, seeing that Morgan is hurt but up. He runs over and sees that the horse is still, and he reaches over and realizes that the horse is barely alive, and he calls on the power of Apollo to heal the mighty Marcus. And he heals him for 2. It's just enough to get the horse stopped from bleeding, still injured, not getting up, but not dying. The horse is very...
Is it missing but isn't it missing like a large portion of its body?
It does have scarring. Heavy scarring.
There are some lacerations about.
It's a 3-legged horse.
It's not
People.
a 3-legged horse. The horse is very, very hurt. Let me look
The horse looks at everyone and says, "Go on without me."
Please, I hate you.
The horse is hurt. All right. So Marcus is a little worse.
I was okay with 1 pterodactyl. 2, I'm out.
Morgan, you're also hurt. Tellus Force is going to reach over and try to heal you, calling upon the power of Apollo. He heals you for 6.
Ooh.
Thank you, my friend.
The gods have found favor in you this night. Yes. He reaches over. The horse is very hurt. The question now is, he may be able to continue on. He may not be able to pull the cart. They may need some help with that. So the question now is going to be, do we rest a full day for the horse? Do we slap him on the back, or do you push on and then you guys pull the cart?
What's in the
Is it
cart?
really going to be a
Just
day
all
that
supplies?
that horse can make it?
Well,
said that
what
we
you're
were-
really waiting on is for another day for Tellus Forest to pray to Apollo to get some power back to heal the horse.
Hold on a minute. Ilias, I do have something that may help. It's, I pull out a small vial.
Oh,
It was made by the healer in town. And this may help his wounds heal very quickly.
You need to use it for yourself, man.
No,
he's perfectly fine. The power of
I
Apollo
kind of
healed
like
quite
snap my
well.
neck a little. I kind of snap my neck a little bit. I'm good, but thank you. Since Marcus is his self, but he is your partner, yes or no?
It's more we're worried about what might happen to Alis if he comes back without the horse.
Ah.
I popped the
Well,
cork.
what say you?
I
Is
kinda go,
What say
Alis,
you, Marcus?
wait, is Alis renting this horse?
I am borrowing it for a vacation. So it's
Isn't it your
probably
commander's
be
horse?
not returned
it
in
is
this.
his commander's horse.
Oh, well, in that case, my friend, we can rest an extra day if we need to.
I'm gonna look at
I'll,
Quinn and say, like, I know we are on a certain timetable, friend. Will an extra day? What say
Yes,
you?
but I
What is
could
your
use the time to prepare the feast, which is the uh,
pterodactyl
carrot.
All right,
Yeah.
for the rest of
turkey?
the evening, I'll pop the cork back in,
So you're
and
gonna,
I will.
all right, so we're gonna camp for another day, to rest, to feast.
The feast.
Okay. With that, we're gonna fast forward. We're just gonna, Jeff, if you'll fast forward a day for the calendar. We're gonna, for the sake of time, we're gonna fast forward the day of camp. We're gonna eat some more rations. We don't need to eat the rations. We're eating pterodactyl, so we don't have to worry about the rations.
Nope.
I want to, because
Bring
of
your
time, I
vegetables.
want to quickly go over. Is there anything else you guys want to do during this day of rest? This is basically to get you're resting up, healing the horse, and getting on your way. Is there anything I want to do extra quickly?
Yeah,
I'm
I'll
going
walk
to-
over to.
Everybody's got something. Okay. Let's go, Chris. What are you doing?
I want to walk over to Morgan.
Okay.
I had another friend who was quite attuned to Apollo. How do you tap into that power?
I am not the worshiper of
That is
Apollo.
Tellus Forus. Tellus
Oh, is it?
Yes. The Grecian.
I'm a
The
worshiper.
old dude.
Yeah,
The old dude.
The old dude.
I'm worshiper of
All right.
Aqua.
Well, rewind that in the script.
Gotcha.
I walk up to Tellus Forest and I says, "My good friend, I've run into a traveling companion before that was quite tapped into this power source of Apollo. Tell me, how do you tap into that the way that you do? Is it through meditation?"
No, it is, well, yes, but it's also through devotion and worship and harmony with the follow of Apollo. And it's very important that you follow all of the tenets of Apollo, and important that you follow his creed, the Apollo's creed.
Oh my God!
What might the Apollo creed be?
And with that, we'll I don't remember exactly. We'll have to go back. Danny, do you remember the Apollo creed?
Was oh god, help the less fortunate, and fight evil wherever it arises, and the rest was to be read later.
Right.
Yes.
And to drink Colt 45.
The Apollo,
Colt 45, baby.
Yes, you must follow the tenets of the Apollo creed.
That
I can
asks
tell you
a
what-
lot.
I can tell you what Apollo Creed's last words were. I want you to promise me you're not going to stop this fight, no matter what. No matter what. Those were his last words before he died in Rocky's arms.
And for those of you unaware, that was the best joke ever told in Heroes of Hyperborea by our friend Danny. The other of a follower of Apollo. All right, so picking up the action before we leave the camp, Jeff Morgan, you wanted to look at the statue of Lanaqua.
Yeah, I wanted to clean it off a little more, not like give it like a full cleaning, but you know, I want to make sure that I remember this place and how we got here, and so I can come back at a later date to investigate it, but try to see if there's any. I'm gonna say my prayers in front of it. I will leave the bear claw as an offering.
Okay.
Seeing how he's taken reverence to this place, I'm going to tell him if you ever need assistance back here, I can show you where it's at.
You are blessed by the aqua. I could feel it in you. And I'll leave the bear claw on the statue.
Okay.
An offering from the village. And I appreciate that, friend. I will return with you one day.
Morgan, I will tell you, as you leave this glade, there is a stillness, a peace about you. You feel close. In fact, you've heard rumor in the forest of powerful magic areas for your kind, something called ley lines. And you're almost curious if this place may be one of those places. It's definitely worth coming back and visiting.
Yes.
I'm gonna A little moment of quiet, walk over to Quinn and say, in my world, there's a goddess named Diana, and she is the goddess of the hunt and of bowmanship and archery. And I have not seen a finer archer in my life than what I saw last night. I'm going to pull off my crossbow and be like, if I were to fall, you may have this as a token of my appreciation for helping Lucius and us last night. And I'll show him how the crossbow works.
Yeah, have I seen a crossbow before?
No.
I am like, I want to look at this thing.
Yeah.
Friend, use it. Take it with you.
I am just, you're seeing me inspect the way that it works, and you can tell that, like, I get it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm going to reproduce this.
Yes. I will help you build one, mayhaps, when we get back. That's
So
what I do.
This is hilarious. On their secondary skills, Wes rolled engineer. And Danny rolled, what is it, ateliator? What is it called?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's
Atelier. Yeah.
It's an old word for maker of crossbows.
Yeah.
So I was like,
That sounds like you guys are about to go into business together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Together with our powers
It's
combined.
called a boomstick.
LLC.
the Hyperborean arbalist is what's going on.
2 campaigns later, Trebuchet.
All right. So very cool. So now we're continuing on. We lost a day. The calendar has moved forward. Jeff, keep up with our calendar. You are now, but you are packing a little extra meat.
I'll be right back.
You're fine. Carrying a little extra meat as you're making your way up the mountain.
Do I know if that will be a danger, having fresh meat on you?
It's covered. I think you'll be okay. I mean, not any more than everything else that you're carrying.
Because there's bears.
Right. Des bears. Right. So you are traveling up the mountain. You've got a little extra provision. Marcus is healed from the power of Apollo that Tellus Forest was able to grant it. It does still bear scars that he'll carry the rest of his days from the bite of the pterodactyl. But the horse now has a story to tell around the campfire. And you guys move up and get into the mountain range. At this point, it is snowy. You've gone through you basically moved up to point where it's still day, but it's the end of day as you're getting into the foothills of the mountains. And it's at this point that you're in the foothills, you have the snow cresting over, and there's this ridge that you kind of go over, and there's a dip that goes down before you have to begin your big ascent. At the bottom of this ravine is a very small creek. This creek represents a crossing of the border. This is, in fact, Quinn, you have not been this far. This is a dangerous place to be. But the area in this, it looks different. The general topography looks shaken. Something has happened in this area. Quinn, you have seen this place from a distance, and it looks changed. Something here has changed.
Does the snow look treacherous? Like, do we need snowshoes?
Not yet, but you will eventually. It is still snowy and rocky as you can kind of make your way down the ravine. The huntsman, Quinn, as you're up front, I will give me a. Don't you have a tracking roll? Roll for tracking. It's a D12, and I think it's a 10 and 12 chance. So just roll low.
Oh, it's not on the thing, right?
It's on. You have to actually just roll the D12.
Ooh.
How low is that?
Ooh. You, as you're walking about, you notice that you come across a very, very large footprint that would have been masked from other people because it looks like it's just almost like the way the entire side of the hill kind of crushes over. But you see a footprint. It is not a boot. It is actually looks like a humanoid foot, complete with 5 toes. It is quite large. You would guess that this person would be 3 or 4 times the size of a normal man.
Does this make me anxious to my search?
If this would still be larger than the thing that you're hunting,
Okay.
at least twice the size of what you're hunting.
We have plenty of pterodactyl meat for it.
I would stop everyone and point this out, especially to Magos.
It looks like the foot of a giant,
Sasquatch?
much bigger.
Yeti?
Bigger since those two things are the same.
Harry and the Hendersons.
Bigfoot, Sasquatch, Yeti, abominable
Wendigo.
snowman. Wendigo.
The thing from Rudolph.
It's quite large.
I should have gotten that longer sword before we left. Yes.
If we're going into its territory,
I turn to everyone and say, we're going to need a bigger boat.
When?
we have plenty of pterodactyl meat to throw at
I
it.
caught what you said there. We have a quint, larger boat. I got you. Okay. Anything y'all want to do as you're moving into this ravine?
I agree with
I'd like to refill my water.
Okay. Magos, you go down to the stream. You refill your water as the babbling brook, the nice, clean, cold, pure water that's seeping out of the mountains. It's delicious. You drink it. Raftontix gets out and drinks it as well. As you're down looking about, you look up and you see a crack in the rock in front of you, and you see that there might be a small entrance into the side of this mountain.
Okay, time out. I have drank a lot of water. So I'm going to take a whiz first.
Okay. As you're sitting there peeing in the brook.
I look back as I'm still peeing,
Yeah.
and I'm like, teammates, there's a crack up ahead. I think we might find a warmer way in. And then I, finish my...
This is Matt Greek speaking of.
And then I'd start making my way towards it.
Before we go anywhere, Trevor, I want Takani to get a sniff of the print if he can.
He does. He sniffs about. You see him shake his head as if it's a foul smell.
How large does this crack that Magos look? Does it look large enough to house whatever this is?
I wasn't. Well, okay. So Morrigan, between you and the huntsman, you both investigating this. It looks like this is a recent crack, and it looks like this was almost like a makeshift covering of a cave, and something has happened that shook the mountain or the area that produced this crack. So there was basically a cave that someone or something tried to cover, and this crack has created a rift where you can actually crawl through it.
I think there was recent activity
Crawl?
there. An earthquake, maybe.
If you pulled at the stones, you could make the way larger.
This may be where the giant lives. Would a giant be able to fit through this crack, or?
There is no way whatever that thing is came in this crack.
No. Okay, never mind that.
It's much bigger than this crack.
Do we wish to bring the rest up and we'll start pulling the rocks away? Maybe see what's behind it.
Would we draw it out with the meat?
That's what I was thinking. I was wondering if we could set some kind of a trap if we thought there was something living in there.
We don't know if it's friendly or not, but damn, shape change would come in really handy right now, but I don't get that yet.
I'm gonna let Takani take a sniff of the cave, see what it thinks.
You do that.
Takani takes a sniff of the cave. He smells something. He kind of shakes his head, looks. He doesn't seem agitated, but curious. He smells something, but is curious.
Is there any bones or spore or any type of droppings outside the cave?
There are no droppings. As you go about and look through the snow, you do find bones.
Thumbs?
Very old bones.
Did you say stones or thumbs?
Bones. Bones.
Oh,
Sorry,
all right.
my southernism got me again. You find under the snow, buried, a few bones, a few femurs you might find.
Do they look chewed up or gouged or?
Very old, definitely human.
Old as in could be decades or like.
Possibly. It's well preserved because of the snow, but it's definitely human. It's definitely old.
Could I fit through the crack? Like, could I shimmy through to kind of like figure out what's inside of it?
Yes.
All right. How about this? I'm gonna leave behind my bow, basically, strip down to just my leather, my buckskin leathers. Um, I will take my dagger and short spear with me and try and. If I get to the other side and there's enough room, I'll let you know. If you hear me scream, you'll know.
Okay. You make your way. You shimmy through as the party is around looking at this. The horse and the cart and everything out there as well. You shimmy through. It is dark. On the other side, there's the little bit of light that's emanating from the hole doesn't give you enough vision further in. But you are inside. You're standing up inside the cave, and you can see that basically there is these rocks or boulders placed to basically cover what looks to be the entrance of a cave.
What I'll do is I am.
You're also as soon as you stand out, your feet are a little wet. It seems that this stream on the outside kind of maybe goes underground and comes back up through here. So there's actually like a little bit of a brook that goes to the cave. You can hear the water like kind of moving through rocks up ahead.
I'm going to on my spear, my short spear. I'm going to cast light on the tip.
Okay.
Try
you cast light, and the cave opens up, and you see the 30 or 40 feet, and it just keeps going. It's pretty big, like it's a pretty big cave. Not big enough to worry about whatever that thing is, but it is big.
I'll start to shimmy my way back through to tell them what I found.
Okay, so it is a large opening. The water going through it.
Well, the boulders were deliberately put there, it looks like.
Yes.
Probably our large friend out there that did it.
If this thing is about 4 times the size of a man, could it fit in? If we were to remove the boulders, would it be able to fit in the cave?
No.
Oh.
The entrance at most is 7 to 8 feet at most. This thing might be 20.
There's a possibility.
I think Wes just choked on his coke when I said 20 feet.
When I was in there,
That's big.
When I was in there, I saw that there's the river runs into it, so there's possible underground entrance, and I'm sure.
What say you, Magos?
I say we go in. I can cast light.
Tell us, Forrest says, if we go, I would not want to leave our friend Marcus out here. We would have to clear the rocks, I believe.
What about your bird, friend Magos? Your bird, can it scout?
Yes, it can.
Perhaps the bird should go in and
I just moved my I'm gonna give it a nod, and it immediately starts to go into the opening and into the cave.
Mm-hmm. And are you gonna use your eyesight, your Beastmaster eyesight?
Yes.
All right. It flies.
You see a little bit of drool come down my beard, as I begin going.
Are you wilding out?
Yeah.
All right, Chris, I texted you what you see inside the cave.
Okay. Wow, she's hot. Oh, different text.
The one below that.
I see a boat.
A boat?
The hell are you talking about, dude?
There's a boat in the.
Is
Is
it a
there
large
water?
boat?
Is there water?
A little bit, but this boat is way
Ancient.
bigger than the water in there.
Wait, where's there a boat?
It's in the
In the
cave.
Inside
cave.
the cave. He sent his bird in.
Oh, okay, I understand. All right, gotcha.
This
Are there any
guy-
markings on the boat? Any flags?
Raftontix decides to land on the boat.
He lands on the boat and looks about. You do see the skeletal remains of someone sitting in the boat. Other than that,
Raftontix looks for any coin on the skeletal remain.
he is holding a book, but you don't see
All right.
a coin. You go looking about. Actually,
I immediately start-
in the. You do see the book, and in the bottom of the boat, you do see some shiny objects. You do see some coin.
All right. I immediately start heading into the cave.
Wizard see book out of the way.
Knowledge.
All right. So you.
I look over. I look over to Quinn. I was like, Quinn, grab your dog and follow me.
Say no more.
All right. We
Or
still
we could
have the
death
issue.
target.
Are you just gonna leave the horse and the supplies outside, and while y'all investigate?
I'm sure he's fine.
Um,
Tell us force. Maybe tell us force.
I appreciate your enthusiasm, old timer, but the horse here is part of the party. He either comes with or we go back.
I love
It's
how
Marcus.
You've deputized the horse as a part of the party.
And he's like,
Or we could send Telesporos back with him in to the safe camp. Or wait a minute.
How long will it take us to clear this enough for the horse?
Yeah, let me do
Yeah.
a little engineer and see if we could lever and fulcrum this thing.
You could lever
Marcus,
fulcrum.
don't leave Marcus
It would
behind.
either it would take a little bit of ingenuity or a lot of strength, which you have a full party. You could probably do all of those things.
let's do that.
We'll
Yeah,
spend the
'cause-
time. I mean, the horse does have our stuff.
Why don't we set up
If he knows like a
Telesporos?
really smart way to do it faster, we should do it his way.
Yeah, you could
Why don't we
definitely.
leave Telesporos
So,
outside with the
using,
horse?
using his engineer knowledge of applying pressure and using some of the blades and stuff, you're able to pry these stones open. The issue is some of these stones are a little bit heavier. Danny, your character is quite strong. Give me a test of strength to pick up some of these boulders and move them out of the way.
All right, that's on the character sheet,
Yeah.
correct?
Yeah, you have a massive strength.
He's a big man.
That's the strength. There we go.
He has Arnold level strength.
You easily move boulders out of the way between Quinn's knowledge of just leverage and the strength of Alis. You guys are able to clear enough to get the horse and the cart, not cart, sorry, the sled inside the cave for safety as we are getting into night. We still have a little bit of light. How long? I guess your light spell has dissipated at this point. But Tellus Forest does have lights. We have 3 people in this with light spells. So Tellus Forest will cast light as well as you go in. You don't go that far, maybe 30 yards, 40 yards into the cave whenever you do see A very strange sight indeed.
I'm gonna bend down to the coins on the boat and go, I'm taking them back! I'm taking them all back! This one right here!
These are very strange coins as you go down and look. But you notice they have Greek lettering on them.
Oros, Magos. This seems to be in the Greek dialect.
Aye, it does.
Guess
I'll
that means they're
investigate.
mine.
Question on the lineage. So Greeks here are Cremoriums more than anything. They're not called Greeks, or what is it?
I mean, they're
Are they called-
they're basically descendant from Greeks that were whisked away here ages ago.
Okay, all right.
Telesphorus is a little different because he was brought here as a child, so he actually has a memory of the old world.
Ah, okay, all right.
Whereas
So-
Magos was born and raised here.
Gotcha. All right. What do you mean?
Is this like a stream it's sitting on? Is this like a frozen over stream?
It's a frozen over stream, yeah.
Well, if you can read the coin, then you get to keep the coin.
Telesphorus is like, cool, thanks.
Okay, so Alis, you have collected 12 gold Grecian coins.
Okay.
If you want to write that down, Alis.
I'm gonna hand one over to Telesphorus and be like, does this look familiar?
He looks and he goes, "This coin is very old. I don't recognize these markings. Quite odd. I don't remember this from my childhood."
Okay. Curiouser and curiouser, this place. Shall we,
Can I take a look at the book?
You do. You grab the book. As you open it up, there's this old book. You pick it up. There's lettering in there that looks very strange to you. It looks familiar, but it's not something. You recognize it as Greek, but it's old. It's very old. You read the front of it, and there's a title, and it just says the Journal of Acrisios.
Does that ring a bell?
When you said Telesphorus goes, that name is so familiar. Acrisios. Where have I heard this name before?
Acrisios. Well, I'm going to keep the book.
As you look at the book, you start flipping, and a couple of pages fall out of the book. You see what looks to be a velium paper, which is newer than the tome is old, but the paper you look seems newer. These pages fell out. You look down at the pages, and as you basically set the book aside. You go down, you look at the pages. As you open up the pages, you see one page that looks like an old piece of papyrus that came out of this tome with almost like a ledger or something, equations, or you see math, something you don't really understand. But you look at these pages and you look at these are magical scrolls, and it looks like this was someone trying to decipher something that you understand, but they did not.
Does any of the math make sense to me?
No.
Will it make sense to any of my old party members?
You handed them out. The issue is it's a language and it's a math. It's something that you just don't understand. But the way you look at it is you're looking at these scrolls. You understand them because it's magic. But this person, it's almost like someone was trying to decipher magic that didn't understand magic.
Okay.
So they were trying to use mathematics to understand something that is beyond them.
So if I spend some time with this, I might get somewhere.
Yes.
All right. Well,
You
I will
do
take
know,
that.
You do know that there are two different spell scrolls here. One looks fairly straightforward. The other one very, very complex.
Should I try the one that looks simple?
Yeah, you look at that one, and you see it's a summoning spell. It is a scroll of Wall of Shadow.
Ooh.
It allows you to cast a spell that would create a wall of shadow that you could control and manipulate. You could use it one time on this, and it would be lost, or you could try to copy this to your spell book.
I'm going to try to copy it to my spell book.
Okay, so you have some things with you. It's going to take some time as you go off to the side to look at that. Tellus Forrest reaches over and grabs the journal and starts looking through the journal, trying to decipher that. As he's doing that, let's go around the horn. We haven't heard from our friend Wes in a while, so what is Quinn doing?
I am inspecting the like pulleys and I'm looking to see if we can scavenge anything that could be useful as far as like the rigging in the ship.
As you do that, as you're looking about, you come across a plank on the boat that cracks and breaks to your weight. You look down, and it looked like it was a cubby at one point. And you pull it back, and you see that there's a satchel hidden inside that. You pull up the satchel, and inside you find 5 jars, or like tall like jars, and they're stuffed. But you see 5 of them. Maybe the size of like an Aquafina bottle.
I'll take a look at them.
Whatever they are all the same. They all have the same smell. They all have the same fluidity to them, the way they slosh around. You're not quite sure what this is, but maybe one of your companions does. So that is. So you're looking over that. The skeletal individual is wearing a studded leather armor that is better than what you're wearing, Quinn. So that would be an upgrade. He also has a Grecian short sword, and there is also a quiver of arrows.
Those are mine.
So 20 arrows.
Nice.
Wow.
As you start pulling the armor off, the skeleton kind of falls apart. As you're like trying to get the armor off of the skeleton, just like the body just kind of crumbles. Danny, what are you doing? What is Alis doing?
What? I'm gonna hop off and kind of walk in the back of it towards where it came in, I guess, and just kind of see what I see over there. I want to see if this cave ends or if it keeps going.
It does keep going, but it's almost like this boat was almost placed here. Like, you don't see how in the world they got this thing in there. Unless the mountain grew around it, or it was built in here. Like, you can't make any sense of how in the world this boat got here. It's also, it's very old. It is very old. I'm
going to look over at the dog and see what the dog's doing.
The dog is sniffing around at the entrance of the cave where the horse is, and you notice that the horse is moving further into the cave, and the dog is irritated.
Something's up, guys. Just say. I'm gonna whistle for Marcus. Marcus, further in.
Marcus is already moving in. If a horse could stealth, he would be. He's very slowly trying to pull into the cave while pulling the cart behind him, the sleigh.
It seems you're, is it Tikani?
Yes.
He seems perturbed.
I'm going to look over at him. Do I notice anything about his body language?
He is defensive posture. He smells something. He is in a very alert, and he's almost like ready to pounce at the front of the cave.
Okay, as soon as I see that, then I'm gonna go up on the bow and ready an arrow.
You get on the bow and you ready the arrow. At that point, Tellus Force, Alis, you notice at the corner of your eye, Tellus Force begins to shake as he's looking over this book at this complete bewilderment as he's trying to decipher this ancient text. And he's like, I don't, this can't be. And he looks over and goes, Alis, you must come.
For us, and I'll hop up. Is he on the boat?
No, he's like sitting off to the side of the boat, like in the cave, like shaking with the light.
What is it, grandfather? What is this?
This book must be a work of fiction. This cannot be a true journal. It has to be a work of fiction. This cannot be.
What are its contents that have disturbed you so?
The writer of this, it's a personal diary of the voyage of this ship and how it came to be here. But look, can you read this entrance? Can you read this? The first line. It cannot be. You look at it, you can't understand it. And he looks and he goes, this is the story of Acrisios, captain of... And he looks and goes, I cannot read it. It means valor. It means valor, I believe. But look, it says there were 14 of us that set out from Troy with Odysseus. This is one of Odysseus'
You know.
ships. Yes, it's a legend.
Oh, even we Romans have respect for Odysseus. Yes.
Sailed from Troy. 14 ships. Lost. This is one of them. It's a work of fiction.
I don't know. Maybe we should put some stock in it. A few days ago, I would have just thought of it as madness, but nowadays...
He goes, he is flipping the pages, he goes, if this is true, then that means that whatever is bringing people from our old world here. There must be a way home, correct? Surely the gods wouldn't just bring us here and leave us.
If we can come here, we can leave here. We'll find it.
He looks through and he goes, the final passage is in the back. He stayed here because he was afraid. There's something guarding the exit of this cave.
Cyclops? Or does he not say?
He looks up and he goes, that is exactly what it says. And there's a sketch of this giant cyclopean beast that would measure 3 to 4 times the size of a man.
Oh, brother.
Well, we'll make like Odysseus then. We'll hide.
He looks over this, he goes, they weren't, Odysseus was not with them. It says that they were separated. His ship traveled beyond. It says something about a whirlpool being pulled in.
Charybdis. Scylla and Charybdis, perhaps. A rock in the hard place. All right. I wonder if this is the domain of something. Look, the dog bristles in fear.
Quinn, you're at the front, and you see a giant shadow move against the front of the cave. The entire place begins to shake at the sound of large thumps.
I'm gonna call Takani back quietly.
Takani slowly starts backing up.
I'm gonna move into a shadowed place and cast protection from evil for myself.
You move into the place, you begin casting. As that happens, you look over and you see Magos, you're still reading over. Whatever this other spell is, it is the most powerful magical spell you have ever encountered.
So am I inscribing it at this point?
This would not be something you could inscribe. You could only hope to cast it but once. with the limited knowledge that you now realize that you have. You thought you were becoming a pinnacle of the arcane works, but this is so much beyond you. You could cast it but once, or you could save it until you were able to master such a thing.
Or I could use it now.
Or you could use it now. You only know it to be something called Geas.
The what?
It's a scroll of Geas, Geas. All I can see is Jeff smirking from ear to ear.
If you really, it's pronounced Gesh.
Gesh. I am Southern. Hear me be. Gesh. Is it Geas is Gesh?
Gesh.
It was today I learned. I thought it was geese.
Hey, if it ain't spelled UGA, I don't need to know. Okay.
Golly.
Gesh. Sorry.
Yes,
I've been
that's a good
saying
point.
that wrong since I was a child.
Raise hail, praise Dale.
I've always said Gesh, or the way you were saying it also. But I learned that it's called Gesh.
Well, now I know. So I'm not a total fool. Thank you. I will be editing all of this out. Chris, you find the scroll of Gesh. Geas.
I'm hiding. I'm waiting.
Alright, so we have Magos trying to discover this spell. We have
Yes.
Quinn backing up, realizing something very large is out there. Telesphorus is dumbfounded at his discovery of this historical information. And with a few moments of very tense moments, whatever this thing is seems to go on its way.
Right. Well, can we get out of here?
You could, or you could wait for a while longer to make sure that thing is truly gone.
So we have to go out the way we came in?
Or go deeper into the cave.
I want to have Takani advance a little bit and see if he still smells it.
Oh, he does.
Oh, it's trying to trick us.
Or it's leaving a pungent smell. What does Morgan want to do? We haven't heard from him in a while, except for his vocabulary correction.
Sorry. It's my alter
Our
ego.
old grammar Nazi in there.
In that same vein, Trevor, it's not pungent, it's
You're
pungent.
gonna edit it out anyways, so it doesn't matter.
I'm ruining the night. It's pungent smell.
So the pungent smell, I'm assuming that it's marking its territory again.
You don't know.
I think it's pissing like your wolf does. I say that
Or
we
your magician does, apparently.
Came
yellow,
around and pissed over his.
yellow snow cones. Anybody? Is there anything else
It's
on
asserting
the
dominance.
Is there anything else on the ship that is salvageable that we could use for our party?
I wanted to, as soon as they start looking around, I wanted to show them the jars because nobody else saw the jars. Perhaps somebody could.
Yes, Magos. Magos has alchemy. He is the one that can decipher strange liquids. You know this. It is an incendiary fire, also known as Greek fire.
The legends of this. It burns even on water.
5 vials of Greek fire.
Things I've learned through my life with Trevor. He loves Greek fire. He loves anything about Carthage.
And he loves soft batch chewy chip cookies. Yes.
I like history and archaeology. I cannot pronounce the words that I read.
I want you to know I knew this was Greek fire when you told me it was in jars.
It's like, yeah. Well, I had to come up with it's a Grecian ship. What treasures would be on a Grecian ship? All right, so I think what we should do here is I think this is a good place to camp, to wonder what you're going to do and plan your next move, whether to venture into the cave
Agreed.
or to go outside and try to climb the mountain and dodge the cyclopean beast that seems to be outside. And I think this is a good place to end our night, our first adventure with everyone. We have lots to ponder and plot in Discord until we pick up our game next week. We'll play again. So for those of you watching, we thank you so much for joining us as we had lots of role play, lots of story, a little bit of combat, a little bit of suspense, but the story is definitely growing, and I think I love now that the party is together and we get to see them a little bit in action. So with that, we'll pick up next week, so thank you so much for watching. Until next time. Alright, so that ends the recording.